because we've been together so long. Let me tell you this: Gil's Jill's perspective, and the way she just boldly speaks her truth, it knocks things off of their pedestals. It lines things off of so many people. We even get into collective spiritual jargon, if you will. We get into beliefs that later have to be reinterpreted because we're evolving so quickly. And Jill just cuts through that. And again, she provides game-changing insights that really allow you to move forward in a way that takes all of that muddiness away from the field. And she's an amazing channel. I traveled with Jill to Egypt, and we spent time there together with her group, and what she was bringing forward in that group and for us was just absolutely incredible as well. And y'all are going to get to experience that energy, the insights, and the channel from the Ascended Masters or from her team as we move forward on today's call. And it's with that introduction, Joel. I was fumbling around how to describe you, trying to go between your bio and my experience with you. And the bio is fantastic, and it's, God, you're that and so much more. So I want to thank you for being on today's call, and welcome.
Thank you so much. The timing feels perfect. I'm very honored to be wrapping up the season alongside you. It feels like we should be toasting champagne as well, and hopefully we feel that way even more after what comes through for us in this experience together.
Season 23, we're ending season 23, but we're starting, Jill. We're starting on new awareness of how we're creating and how we're having a relationship with everything around us. So why don't we go straight into it? Let's get into the energy update and share with us what you've been seeing, feeling, and attuning to.
Okay, I'm just going to dive right in. I hope everybody's okay with that. People may want to take a nice deep breath in through their nose and out through their nose. Just join me with that. Very good. And I'm going to turn off this light here. The lighting is odd. It's all dark here, and I'm so used to sunlight when I'm recording. So anyway, this is fun to be playing with artificial lights. I do want to sort of prepare everybody that, especially for those that may be new to me or new to me alongside John, because John, when you and I are together, there's an extra sort of level of the frequencies, and I know you and I experienced that when we were together on the Egypt trip too. I do feel like there's a soul sibling sort of thing where we bring out the best in each other in a really, really special way. Or at least I know that you bring out even more from me. So I appreciate that. That's always a pleasure to be alongside you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So I want to prepare people that you may hear things that contradict with other things that you've thought about or other things that you've heard. And I'm just going to ask you, sort of like you bring up an extra seat at the table. We're not going to impose anything on you. We really are always encouraging you and your agency and your wholeness and your completeness and your discernment. So please, take what resonates and disregard what doesn't. But you may really want to sort of like be even more open to ideas that you've never heard of before, or those that contradict with some other things that you may have thought were true. I promise that we have a really good track record, my team as me and my team and I, in creating expansive opportunities and expansive energetic systems through thoughts, beliefs, and ideas, and insights that help us expand the light of Source Creator in this reality through our one and in general in this world, which I'm guessing this entire audience is feeling aligned with that idea. Okay, so let's dive in. I don't have notes. I don't have a script that I'm following. So here we go. Here we go. 2020, in so many ways, we would really, we feel like it would benefit a group like this to consider 2020 as sort of like a test run. Like if you were a top race car driver, and it's not the race, but you're actually testing out your system, you're testing out yourself as a driver, and you're testing out the car that you're driving. You're also testing out your crew. Okay? The entire system is being stressed to see how strongly and purely you feel the light of source that you are. Okay? So there is no fail, there is no, there's no letter grades here. It is very much a personal assessment that we're encouraging you to have in terms of how strongly did you feel your light? How strongly did you feel source energy love? How alive and empowered by source energy did you feel for the most part or at any specific time in 2020? Okay? 2020 was hard on almost everybody. But some individuals actually felt like their test run was better than they thought it would be. They had many moments where in the midst of the time trial, if you will, there was a sense of, hey, I think I'm actually doing okay. Like I'm taking care of myself. I feel strong in my light. I feel like a version of myself that I like and that I love. And there's a presence to the Christ consciousness. There's a presence to my love for myself and my love for others and the love of source energy for me, no matter what was going on in the outer world, even if it was economic pressure personally, even if it was health challenges, even if it was, actually getting the virus. So many of you were not tested as, let's see if you can do this, but it literally is like the pros that you are, the professional bringers of light that you are, so that you could assess. This is not anyone else assessing you. It's you getting to assess for yourself what you want to adjust. How did your pit crew do? How did the different teachings, either that you offer the world if you're a teacher, or the healing that you offer this reality if you're a healer, intuitive, psychic, etc. This is an amazing group that we have the privilege and honor to be interacting with right now. Those of you that are a support system for others, did you feel sure enough in the source energy that you are to be a support system for others? Did you seek out support where you needed it? And did you allow the sense of love, grace, wisdom, alchemy, wholeness, balance, and centeredness in your field? Was there any adjustments that you want to look more carefully at? Could you feel a rattle in your left rear tire where the lugs are just not quite tight enough? This is your chance. This is your opportunity at this point in this year to really reflect and be incredibly honest with yourself of whether you feel like, you know what, I did better than I thought I did. That was an amazing time trial. Or, you know what, I'm not as strong in my light as I thought I would be. And we are here for you, because we love to support the bringers of light. It's truly our most obvious mission is to support the lights of source energy that you are on the planet, no matter what's going on. And we know that there are templates and ways of viewing yourselves, beliefs and ideas that can help you hold the light within yourself, not bringing it in from the outside, knowing it's there, through a corrected framework that allows you to feel it, believe it, know it, no matter what's going on, even a global pandemic, even an economic crisis, even feeling locked away, literally and figuratively, from your favorite people on the planet. That's how strong we want your light to be, that it can get you through those darkest days. Okay, so what 2020 was to everyone else, we're not talking to everybody else. We're talking to you. Okay, there's a lot of grand conspiracy ideas, etc., about who's doing what to whom, and we're asking you to kind of not pay attention to that. Is that a helpful pit crew to you that's giving you the gossip and the scuttlebutt on which driver is sleeping with whatever driver, or who is sabotaging so and so in the stands, or what sponsor is really out to get somebody? Does it really matter to you in your race?
No.
Does it really matter to you and the light that you are in your life? Some of you have pit crews that are distracting you. Choose your pit crew wisely. Rely on them. Pick those that have similar goals and ideals to you, and the light that you are, not the light that you're trying to be. the light that you are, with no effort at all if you let it be that graceful and that easy to be the design template of source signature that you are. And John, we just want to pause right there because I sense you have something to add.
Well, to add and to ask, I love that you're sharing this. I had an experience where I was in deep process about a month and a half ago, and I went deep into dark shadow realms and was witness of and in intimacy with so much power. It's like my body was hurting, my mind, I was tired, like all these different things. And I was in humility of the power. Truly. It's like, okay, I understand. And I got to witness its beauty, but in all the confusion and all the darkness and all the shadow, when I emerged from it, I didn't lose my integrity. I wasn't in fear. I wasn't in this other place. What I held true when I went in, I emerged with even a stronger awareness of that love and that light that I carry. And that couldn't sway or take away from me, even though I got to recognize it. And so what you're sharing about the test drive and what we're capable of and pushing it to the limits, I felt like that experience took me to the limits of something that I hadn't experienced before to see who I was. Experience was so, what you're sharing is so resonant from that personal experience that I had. So beautiful.
Good. And I love your words right there. When you said you said something to the effect of shows us who we really are, right? Yeah. I mean, I just got goosebumps as you said that. Thank you so much for that, brother, because I know in March, about the third or fourth weekend, and I had already been all, charged up and zhuzhed from the Egypt trip. The second time I went back this January, we got back at the end of January. And my husband and I were just kind of comparing notes. He's a leader. I'm a leader. He's in a very different industry than I am. He's in corporate. I'm obviously in all of this. Woo, lucky us, right? Lucky me to be alongside you guys. I don't miss corporate at all. But we were just comparing notes about what the leadership roles that each of us felt like, whether we felt like prepared for it, whether we felt we were rising to the occasion, or whether we felt like we were letting people down. I felt on fire in the right way. I mean, I felt motivated. I was inspired. I was like, let's share this message. Let's offer, that discount for this, and just really motivated, super clear, like omniclear, ultra clear, in terms of what might help what group. I felt the team get incredibly sort of crystal clear also in terms of, okay, now we need to talk about this. Now we need to talk about that. And I wasn't following them, right? I was part of that leadership because I'm, all of us, you're the human ground crew. You literally are the driver. I love that metaphor. Or is it an analogy? Anyway, that came up there in that message. But are you okay if we continue?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So that discernment may feel like judgment, okay? And that is uncomfortable for a lot of you. But if you really look at it, we're going to stick with this analogy about the professional race car driver here, because the race car driver is less concerned about hurting someone's feelings. They need the best support possible in order to have the race of their lives, okay? We're talking about amplifying source energy on your planet. We're talking about each of you as literally planned incarnations of bringers of light, which is what every single one of you are. Whether you are new to all of this or whether you are a seasoned pro, right? We look at all of you in that way, or you wouldn't be watching this, you wouldn't be listening to this. That's how we know. You self-selected by being here right now. So this discernment and this judgment, we just want to clear the air a little bit in terms of judgment, because there are some amazing race car drivers who are not so pleasant in the heat of the moment. When they are doing their time trials, they are incredibly serious. That doesn't mean they're rude, but they're not always nice, right? And they will tell somebody when they're not doing their job. And they will tell somebody, you know what, I don't think you're a fit here anymore. So judgment can feel uncomfortable for a lot of you that do not recognize the leadership role you play in the light that you are in your life. Okay? So you get to be the kind of boss that you want to be, right? But some of you are refraining from being a boss because you don't want the responsibility. And responsibility is just responding to your abilities. You have been a bringer of love, compassion, grace, healing, insight, clarity from the moment you arrived, when you weren't even aware of it as a human. Some of you have actually gone deep into spiritual teachings and concepts that are actually at odds with the natural light that you are. You get to decide what those are, right? What is making you feel like you are not yet a fully evolved bringer of light? What would make you consider that Gaia is not fully ascended? What would make you feel or make you think that humanity is on some sort of a linear evolutionary path? Life forms on Earth don't do anything linear. Okay? And if it did, it would feel like 2 steps left. It would feel like a hokey pokey or something with some right and to the left. It wouldn't even be as organized as a hokey pokey, actually. Okay, so the more you can think about it yourself as an omnipresent, never was not ascended experiencer of source energy, and that every journey is completely independent of themselves, and this may be the only journey you've ever had. Let this race be the only race that matters to you. And it doesn't matter what you ran last time. It doesn't matter your time trial from two ago. This is a fresh race every time, and that is the best, most liberated, truly enlightened way to look at any human incarnation. That the cheese stands alone, okay? So any sort of entrapment about what something was before or what you're here to do now, we really encourage you. Again, there's that new seat at the table, right? Throw it out. Let yourself be the pro that was born to be a pro. Let yourself be the record breaker that you're like a prodigy. Let it be easy. Let what comes natural to you flow like water with no obstruction. Let what doesn't come natural to you not be a problem. Maybe you're not missing a thing by that not being your gift, by that not being your ability, by that not being your forte. What if you don't need that? What if you never needed that? What if you never incarnated to come and get that? What if you brought everything you needed? Upgrades.
Major upgrades. And again, it's in alignment with what I've been experiencing personally and been sharing, but from personal experience also. There's a clarity in the conversations with others. There's a directness that can be very loving, but it is the most loving thing to speak our truth and to be in our lanes and to let people know where that is so they can decide how to relate. But when we do all this acquiescing and back and forth for niceties or because we're sensitive or all these other things, we're living in this controlled manipulation for the sake of what? Mm-hmm. And it's emerging. And that clarity as it emerges, the leadership, my tone has shifted. My relationships with people have shifted, all for the better. I feel more whole than I ever have, ever. And it comes from being willing, being vulnerable enough to be in that authenticity and the leadership that comes with it.
And the boss doesn't have to explain themselves.
No.
Right?
It becomes a very masculine conversation and a very feminine type of energy.
Yeah. I like that you said that. And that's cool, actually, because I know you, John, as a beautiful balance between your amazing masculinity and this beautiful, soft, sensitive side of you that could be considered very divine feminine, right? I know myself, I can be incredibly loving and soft and incredibly caring and compassionate. And yet I have a lot of type A kind of, get out of the way, I'm coming, sort of divine masculine sort of tendencies. I don't, even in kindergarten, my report card said does not work well with others. Bossy.
Does not follow instructions well from others, perhaps.
No. It literally was, I was bossing everybody around. I was like, I don't know what you kids are doing here, but I know what I want to do. If you want to do it, great, I'm here.
I love it.
Anyway, so this balance, and that is more comfortable for some than others, for sure. But I know, and John, I'm guessing you could relate to this too. I've created layers of my Jill along the way. I personally didn't have a sort of existential angst where I never felt like I needed to go find myself. So for those that have had that kind of journey, you may literally want to step back into your energy field a bit and just consider, what if you were never missing anything? What if you actually were whole and complete the whole time, and this entire reality, and maybe some of your pit crew that along the way, sort of distracted you to thinking that you were missing something, or that you needed to go outside of yourself to go find something. That, to me, a purpose is what you create. A purpose isn't what you find. Anyway, so that it's a flipping the whole thing. So you're creating layers of yourself as needed, or just as you're curious. What if I create a leadership profile of myself? What if I create a more harmonious team player version of myself? We each get to decide.
Right, and we get to do it if it's in alignment with us, and it's really, I think we're calibrating more and more as we align with the energies that are coming forward, and as, again, some of the ways that we've been taught aren't feeling with us anymore. That those little calibrations are actually leading to major transformation within us and for the planet as well.
I totally agree. John, I'm going to be really rude for a minute. My golden retriever is my little partner in light here, and he's pawing at the door to come in. I'm going to grab it just really quick.
Grab him.
I'm coming, Sam.
Jill comes back, and she'll be 2 seconds. By the time I finish saying anything, she'll be back.
I heard my name.
Yeah. I've also had the opportunity to present with Jill live in Los Angeles, and we had a wonderful just exchange. Just again, when we get in this energy, it just keeps expanding. But what you're sharing now, and how I feel you and see you and what's being transmitted, it's amazing. It's amazing what is evolving in all of us, and so wonderful. And kind of in awe as witnessing what's coming through right now as well. So yeah, let's continue. So the energy forecast, Jill.
Yeah. Okay. So the energy forecast, similarly to what we've just done there, where we kind of we assisted each of you in plucking yourself out of a general 2020 narrative that applied to anyone else but you. Okay. Let's do that for 2021 and beyond as well. Okay. You have had, each of you, an amazing experience in terms of, again, an amazing time trial in the most extreme circumstances ever, right? So some of you may be feeling, that's not fair. That's not fair, because it wasn't a fair time trial, because everything was messed up. The track was wet, there was oil, there were tacks. Who puts tacks on the track? Yeah, but this is Earth. This is real life, right? And your light should never feel like it's failing you. Flat tires, crashes, burning, being pulled out of a car, burning on fire, right? Your light should never be what you question, ideally. And again, we love to support you in just reassessing your entire ideology about who and what you are and why you're there. All right, that you are beautifully designed for this when you let yourself feel like the natural bringer of light that you are. So there's going to be various ideas that come up for all of you. Even when you listen to the replay, please listen to the replay. You will hear new things every single time. Okay, I promise. Listen to what comes up for you in terms of, no, but I have that goal. I want to do this, and I want to be that. And I've been working for years on this. That's fine. But why? Do you still feel that passionate about that? Does that matter to you like it did then? It's okay to not finish things. It's okay, especially if it feels like a distraction from you feeling and being and offering the light of source that you are and that you've always been throughout your life, even when you didn't know you were. That's the best kind of light, right? You don't even need to know that you're that. You don't need to
Right.
manage it. You don't need to, it doesn't need to become some fancy job you have. It is you in its most natural state. Okay? So going forward, really take some time to reflect on what 2020 has meant to you. Where you surprised yourself positively, take an assessment. Great, right? Perfect. I hit the tax and hey, pit crew showed up. I worked, I called for help, right? And I got back in business, right? Allow yourself that reflection and really be very vulnerable with yourself in terms of where you feel like you did not have your best time trial, where you feel, not what your pit crew did, not where your car let you down. Where did you freak out? Where did you feel like, oh, I can't be my light today. I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. I need to shut down shop because this part isn't going well, and my audience doesn't need this right now. Really? You sure about that? Did you ask them? Did you ask them if they missed you if you shut down? A lot of you put the car in storage during the time trial. That's okay, but that's something to really look at. Where were you worried about getting in someone's way? How could the light of source energy get in someone's way? That's what sunglasses are for. If you shine too bright, hand them the sunglasses. Or have them go off in some shady area, okay? But for you to hold back in any way on the light that you are, on the love that you are, you may want to rethink that. Because for some people, you were the only light they felt. We have incredible respect and honor and regard for every single one of you as the beautiful, amazing, professional, masterful bringers of light that you are. Going forward, we would love for you to redesign anything without hesitation. Please don't worry that, well, can I drive with 3 cars or 3 wheels? Yeah, if it's the right style of car, you can. That's what hot rods are in a lot of ways, right? Tiny little front, wide back, right? You get to play with this, experiment, trial and error. Be curious. What would it feel like if I am my light in a professional way? What would it feel like if I'm my light in a private way, totally unofficially? What if that's enough? What if I never needed to make this into a business? What if I never needed to do healing professionally? Yeah, what if? Sounds good to us. What if? Mm-hmm. We are so much more focused on supporting the light that you are, and we are following your leadership in terms of what you are pretending it needs to be or needs to look like. And 2020 can be a stripping away of what really, really matters to you and what really, really matters to the light that you are. Okay? So going forward, we would love it if you felt like survivors, after the hurricane, giving hugs to people, right? As safely, sorry, maybe that was a bad example, but just feeling like, okay, who's still here? How we doing, right? And feeling inspired and feeling like the restraints are off of you, that you get to really play and explore and be curious about just how much brighter your light can feel when there aren't tacks on the track, when things do feel more naturally suited. But there's a part here that is important, and we were going to go into it earlier, and we're coming back to it here. Those of you that feel like 2020 is not a fair representation of what your light should feel like, we just want to point out that it is a lot easier to be the light of source when income is more certain, when relationships are stable, when the political environment is a little bit more predictable, when loved one's health is not a concern, or you're not afraid for your health or others, right? So now 2019 and earlier just feels like a cakewalk in a lot of ways, right? So for many of you, that felt like your light was great. And so when things are going well, your light's good. 2020 was a wonderful examination for you. Again, nobody's testing you. You're your own self-assessor here. So going forward, be playful, be curious, shake things up. If things don't work anymore, then set them down. Don't use things that don't work. There might be something totally different that you have never heard of, have never thought about. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? What kind of whales are those? What is this? That's crazy. Does that work? Does it work? I mean, can we just rethink everything? Oh yeah, please do. Please do. That's the best kind of leader that can throw out what 99% of a certain group thinks is true. And there's some some outlier over there that says, I don't know if that is true. That's a rule. That's a game changer over there. That's a rule maker who's trying out new rules in an experiment, in a wild, pioneering way. And that may work wonderfully for you. And you may surprise yourself at just how easy your light can flow when you allow yourself a system, a template, an ideology that allows it to be there no matter what.
Beautiful. What would you say to those, using the race car analogy, right? Mm-hmm. So the race car analogy, as long as we have our heads up going forward, we can race around the track. But sometimes we've been so entrained and our nervous system, and we're chemically have programmed ourselves to sometimes drive forward, but we don't want to look straight ahead because we don't want to see what's ahead of us. Mm. How do we get back into, and maybe we'll look forward sometimes to kind of glimpse up, and maybe we'll look again and kind of start driving and let the sound or the cars in front of us kind of lead us. What would you suggest for those to repattern those places where we would prefer not to look sometimes? Please lead us there. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it's this whole thing of uncertainty, and we all do it to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. Sometimes.
Okay, perfect. Most of you, all of you actually, to some degree or another, okay, there's a spectrum of, it's actual luck. Okay, now some of you are already like, there's no luck. Everything happens for a reason. Doesn't she know? Remember we talked about that game changer? Yeah, that's a rule that we changed years back. It's working great. Luck is a thing. Okay? If you allow yourself the luck, which is directly connected to source energy grace and transcendence. Notice we've used no weird words, by the way, so far. Another game changer. If you allow for the luck to play lady luck or gentleman luck, whatever, in your life, you can allow for that sensation that you look exactly when you're supposed to look, where there's an ultra sensory awareness system that you are also operating from. Because John is exactly right. The pro race car drivers, their heads are locked and loaded. They are in a zone. And it feels like heaven when you're in the zone, right? Because you feel, not only are you super hyper-focused, you're everywhere at the same time.
It's ecstatic.
Yeah. There's a hum to it as well. You almost can feel the other driver coming, even if you can't hear them, right? There is literally a super, like Spider-Man kind of sensory awareness system of, yep, there she's coming. Yep, there she is, just like I thought she'd be, right? And it can feel like luck, okay? Whew. So for those of you that feel like you are extremely lucky in your lifetime, what a wonderful time to use it, right? If some of you literally can even look at your past year and go, I've been lucky. Now, some of you, again, you've made it into this that luck doesn't exist. You've pretended luck isn't real. You've denied luck. And yet you live in luck because luck is grace. And luck is very transcendent, right? Some of you live in luck, though, and you know it, and you're aware of it. You may not talk about it in the groups like this because it's become out of favor. We're going to try to put it right back in favor. You may not talk about how lucky you are, but with your inner circle, it's like, God, we're so lucky. We're so lucky, right? I can't believe that went our way. We couldn't have put that on a dream board, right? We wouldn't have known to put that on there. And here we are, feeling so amazingly taken care of, okay? Bringers of light have luck. Because your light matters so much in your reality. To deny that it's there is like pretending you're doing it all on your own and that it's all up to you to operate the light that you are. That doesn't even make sense. Earth is hard enough as it is, and humanity is a whole other level of difficulty and randomness and chaotic energy and hormones and relationships and all this other stuff. So the luck part is critical to feeling like the divinity will be there to catch you and to point things out to you, and that you look exactly, your eyes would look at just the right time, and that your gas pedal is just where right in the zone that it needs to be. Okay? So John asked a super important question because this is about habits, right? And through many things that we talk about today, we hope that you will revisit some habits, i.e. some thought patterns that you've had that have blocked you from feeling the flow and the grace of the light that you are.
Amazing. I love that you're calling it luck, and it is. And I've gotten into the habit of calling it blessings.
That works too.
Which works great. And I say it all the time. And then April knows I joke about it, but I'm not joking. It's like, my God loves me. It's like
so
for me all the time. And that's luck. And and some people look at me as like, God, you're a little cocky about God loving me. It's like, no, I know he does, or she does, or it does. You just know. And that luck, it's you call it forward. And you say it in whatever tone feels appropriate for you. But again, grounding it in, and for the languaging and the vernacular, I've been working with a firm that I've hired to really help me get the work out in a way where we normalize the conversation with the vernacular isn't so complicated that we shut people out.
Exactly.
And I'd love if you talk more about that, because again, some of the teaching, some of the things that have been going perhaps well intended, but they could be setting us back if we continue on the trajectory.
Yes. Okay. Let's go right there. Because it is part of a template, right? And I know as my Jill, that was part of my template too, and I think we don't realize we're doing it. When we're in that environment or in those communities, in those conversations all the time, we forget that when we use words like ascension, people are like, what do you mean by ascension? What's that? Right? And then all of a sudden if somebody's asking you what you mean all the time, you may want to depending on what your goal and objective is, though, and what you're comfortable with, right? Some people actually feel special when they use language that outsiders don't understand, right? I know we did that in corporate all the time. I didn't, but anyway, some love to change all the rules of, we're not using that term anymore. Like, didn't you know? It just always felt like the cool kids and then the rest of us. And I'm just like, why do they always want to? Anyway, I digress. So recreating language. And I know for my Jill, what I realized is I'm loving listening to psychiatrist podcasts and things where they're talking about consciousness, they're talking about wholeness, they're talking about healing and wellness in terms that anyone can look up on Wikipedia, right? Not some obscure sort of website, that's all esoteric, right? And intimidating or just unwelcoming or just weird to some people, right? If you really want your light to be relatable, of interest, or, how about welcoming? How about makes people curious, but versus makes people scratch their heads in a that looks like too much work kind of way? And a lot of us had done that. We made spirituality, consciousness, self-actualization, great term, right? I used to use the word sovereign. And then I heard agency, and I'm like, agency, that works. Nobody's asked me what I mean by agency. Everyone, well, not I got that. What do you mean by sovereign? A lot, which is a fair question, right? Because it helps when we can feel that we're talking about something that the rest of the world has some clue about what we're talking about, right? So it's a template. John, this is so good. The template of obscure language requires more energy. You hold it in a way of you gotta work on it, and you knew that there was some effort to work in that language, so you carry this kind of false template with you that is it wastes it definitely uses energy that you otherwise wouldn't need to.
Yeah. Characters that create separation, and that takes energy.
Yeah, that too. Yes, that. Yes, exactly. And all the explaining, right? To try to make it relatable to those that are patient enough to hang around to find out, if they're new to this, right? Why would we not want to make it relatable? Right? If we really want to assist others in feeling the light of source that they are too, right? Then we would want to use language that's as welcoming and normal and Wikipedia normal as possible. And I have found, I know for me anyway, psychiatry terms and things like that are really, really nice. And that was another kind of false template. A lot of us were, and I know I want to say guilty of it too. I love the word quantum. Oh, it's quantum. Ugh. And then I saw one debate, John, with Deepak Chopra, Michael Shermer, and I think Sam Harris. And Deepak didn't do so well. I mean, I took debate in college and I was like, Deepak's not looking good right now. and I could see it in a really objective way. Like, I don't want to sound like that. I don't want to be accused of using the word quantum in a way that it was never meant to apply, doesn't fit, but sounds good, but it has no place there.
Interesting, yeah. Mm-hmm. What would you say about creating new languaging for new possibilities that we're expanding into, though? Because there's something about the creativity in that as well, that has legitimacy and that we're tuning to in a different energetic. And so some of the old words aren't really at a vibrational level that can really support the simplicity of the essence that we're stepping into.
I totally agree. And again, even the little example I used there about I used to use the word sovereign and sovereignty, and now agents, your own agency feels so much more. Oh, it feels like a breath of fresh air. It's like agency. Oh, yes, I love that word. And because words to any of us that are sort of master communicators or know ourselves in a translator way, the words, the human language, they're containers of energy. So it matters a lot. And even if people don't exactly know what we're talking about, on some level, they can feel the energetic authenticity, I want to say, of the source energy. And if it all feels really forced and jerky, it's kind of like the kid in college that's pretending they know more than they actually do. Or overcomplicating it is what Einstein just said. Touche.
Overcomplicated. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're tuning to a lot, and we're getting into integrity of a lot. And Jill, from my understanding and my experience, it's our critical mind is merging with our heart, which is merging with our etheric field, and that intelligence is functioning more as one unit as opposed to how it was previously. And so it's important to attune. Well, I'll say I'll take it back. It is important in our transformation as we are evolving individually and collectively to calibrate to the truth of that and to come back to a place of leading from the integrity of the wholeness that we're merging with and communicating from there, even though it may not be agreeable to those around you. It's that integrity and, again, the willingness to have that conversation and hold your truth, even if that truth only lasts for a second, to hold it as yours and not to waffle off of it if the intention is really coming from that place of true authenticity.
Beautiful. What I would love to add to that is taking the pressure off of those other relationships. For when some of us wanted others to validate us or wanted others to come along for the ride and start, thinking about things the way that we did or become interested in things that we did. There's a lot of energetic inertia that can happen there in relationships, in client work, right, and in personal goals, etc. When we are feeling like, I see it in romantic relationships with people all the time. It's like, no, we can't be together anymore because I had a spiritual awakening, and now we just don't fit anymore. And I was like, oh, okay, you could look at that totally differently if you want to, right? And those that are single, I know that I talk about this with clients a lot. When their expectation is that they can only fit with somebody that's of similar, vibration, and there's another word that gets a little bit overused, but somebody that compatible energetically, it doesn't have to do anything with spiritual ideology, right? Mm-hmm. What if it's just integrity, right? And to me, integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking, right? I have amazing people in my life that I love to hang out with, that are not interested. They've never read my books. They're not into any of this, but they love me and I love them, and we have fun together and we hang out. I'm not expecting them to have any sort of spiritual awakening. They're the light of source, whether they awaken in this lifetime or not. They don't need that. And see, that's that new framework too.
Do you think also energetically we're drawn to a particular type of vibe within people, and it can take lots of forms of spirituality? Mm-hmm. It's expressed in different ways, whether it's corporately, whether it's through being a mom, whether it's different ways that it comes up. And I share this only, and it was a funny experience. I decided I'm not going to date someone. I'm not going to date someone from the community. I'm going to open up to something new. And I went somewhere, it's like thinking that, okay, I'm going to meet someone who's just like, she's going to be a lawyer or she's going to be a waitress. I didn't care. But not in the spiritual community. Just like, it might be refreshing for me. Maybe I can relax. And sure enough, I met someone and she was absolutely amazing. And we dated for a little while and had a great time together. There was so much resonance. But she winds up being a doctor of divinity and she's into spirituality and she's doing, it was like, kept landing in the thing. So it's funny how we tend to be attracted to similar vibes.
Yeah, that can happen.
People. But it doesn't have to come from the judgment, though. It comes from the letting go, seeing how we resonate towards one another.
Yeah. This what I'm about to say next may be uncomfortable for some individuals. I'm going to say it anyway. It's obviously meant with positive intentions. There are some individuals that they're feeling energetically, they're quite fragmented. So sometimes what they are drawn to or what they attract in terms of others being drawn to them is actually incompatible. It's there's resistance, there's natural conflict, there's just natural friction that just happens there, and of course then a lot of the previous template in my view was forcing a lot of in another life, and I'm just like, don't tell me anymore, that's just not necessary, right? And they can't prove it's true, I can't prove it's not, but I just don't think it's helpful, I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it's true. What if two people just don't get along? I mean, I don't need a story why pickles and ice cream don't go together. They just don't. I mean, Don't put those pickles anywhere near my ice cream, right? But little pecans, toasted walnuts, I'm all in, right? So who is the natural complement to us? And when somebody is allowing a sense of allowing source energy love for no reason, right? Not based on effort, not based on accomplishment, not based on, perfection, God forbid. That would be a miserable life, right? What if it's just allowed? And overall, you can just feel their light. They have a really nice energy field that's conducive to the light that they are. So what that individual is going to seek out and what that individual is going to attract, if you will, is going to be very different than the individual that feels like they are here to work on something, like they are not the light of source, like source is being hard on them in this lifetime because they've got lessons to learn and all that other stuff. Their entire structure and sense of self, the thoughts that they have, the goals and pursuits that they have are completely different than what we're talking about here. So again, that's how you get into toxic relationships in some individuals that, yeah, well, he's my soulmate. And they just make it sound like I'm stuck with him. You don't understand, Jill. He's my soulmate. We hate each other. We're here to work on shit. And I'm just like, ugh, what if that's not even true? And they just look at me like, what did you just say? Yeah, what if that's not true? What if you're not soulmates? What if you don't need to be with him? And what if he's a total creep for telling you that you're his soulmate, right? He came here to find you. Anyway.
Or you came here to save him.
Yeah, either one. Yes, it goes both ways. That's exactly right. So see, I'm demonstrating my willingness to be judgmental. Anyone can disagree with me. I'm really opinionated about all this stuff, though, because I've seen what works. I've seen the misery that can be caused, and I've seen the joy that can be unleashed. And so I don't like to waste time. Life is way too short. It's precious, and for Pete's sake, let's get to the good stuff.
Well, Jill, it's what truth do we want to live in, and where do we want to see the world head to?
Yes.
And all of you, like Jill said, the light workers that you are, there's a congruency. There's an integrity with your light. And if you're still doing the karmic loop on the old struggle and the things and the victimization and the abuse, perhaps it's time to rethink that truth and invite a new one in. Again, throw it all out the window and see how can we start anew now and see what you can create with your light. Because as you create that for yourself, the ripple effects that it has into humanity is exponential. And that is what I feel we're transitioning through these times. The clarity, the 2020 clarity that we thought we had when we began this year is finally starting to come in now as we align and we calibrate to the integrity of what is true for us now and how we are seeing ourselves in our capacity to either be in integrity with that clarity or not with integrity with that clarity.
Perfect. Perfectly said. And I have a trick that I love to offer because somebody's going to say, how do I do that? I've got a strategy. Okay. I've got just the right wrench for this. Okay. Think about your pain points. My life, or it could be my life is harder because I'm in pain because my light is not readily accessible because, and really build a good list. Start with maybe just 3. And then what's your story about it? Because you probably have a story about, and I have that pain in my life because, again, and the key to unlock the authentic light is, what if I'm wrong about that? What if that's not true? What if I misunderstood what that was? What if that pain, what if that suffering, what if that trauma was never about me? What if my team, what if Source Energy, while that shit was going down, my team wasn't like, here it comes, here's the lesson. Hope they're ready for it. What if your team was like, I can't look. This should not be happening right now. This is bad luck right here. And what if that has then, through some twisted ideas, become a personal pain story? That you could instead say, you know what, I think that person that harmed me or hurt me or misled me or manipulated me and I let them, whatever. What if they were just shitty? What if they, as their soul, they may be amazing, but what if in this lifetime, the lack of integrity, not trustworthy, and I got caught in their energy field, I got caught in their crossfire. I trusted myself with them and I realized I shouldn't have. What if my source energy wants more than anything for me to go, oh, I wish that wouldn't have happened too. Let me just receive the grace and the healing and the forgiveness that I didn't do anything wrong there, and that my team wasn't happy that happened. They didn't orchestrate that or plan that. There was no contract that just got stamped because of that nonsense. I feel, by the way, a lot of second chakras like cleaning out trash as we're talking about this.
Wow. Yeah. Y'all, what are y'all feeling in this? God, I can feel that moving a lot. It's so funny how the way it's like the slow type of moving, clearing it out right now that's going. That's amazing. It's not one of those. It's like really thorough in the energy. Wow.
Like an iceberg. I'm feeling like a slow wave of what I call God bumps. Just kind of slow wave creeping across. Yeah, and a really.
We've got a few things to cover, and I want to cover special offer because you're offering private sessions also, which is rare for you to do it in special offers in this way. And the packages that you've put together are extraordinary. And we have to get into the Mary Magdalene transmission, and I want to make sure we have time for that as well. So, y'all, first thing we want to do is let me guide you to the special offer. April has typed in the link in the chat box. So if you're on the video, click on the little chat icon. On my computer, it's at the bottom. It might be in the top if you're on a PC, but find the chat box, click on that link, or you can go to the browser and type in beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Jill23. And it'll take you to that same special offer page. And you're going to want to pay attention to this. And the sessions with Jill or April, will you buy a session for me, please? I want a session.
John, you know where to find me. That's silly.
Always, I'm buying a session. Thank you, April. And Jill, guide us through what I'm going to receive when I claim my offer.
Okay, so there's two different offers. There's an A and a B. In the A, there is not a special offer, there's not a private session, but there is an amazing brand new course that's actually in both offer A and B. This course came about based on some of the things that we were talking about. Because what I was observing and what my team said, because we love to offer new courses, especially when I get to be alongside you in this amazing group, it's like, what new do they deserve and desire, but they don't know what to ask for? And what came up was, given how 2020 went, let's get a whole new set of templates. For those that had a hard year, for those that felt like I thought I was strong in my light, and then not. Like, what happened? How can I feel stronger in my light when I need it most? And then there's a group that actually did really quite amazing, and they're going, I think I did pretty well. Being even stronger in your light going forward, and celebrating the fact that you had a template that worked really well. So what we're calling this series is the Christ Consciousness Upgrade Templates. It is a set of 8 conversations, and I love how that word conversation just came up because it is seamless, and yet the energy in it flips stuff over so that you can look at it, and then we offer something that we know is an upgrade right in there to replace it. And we do it with love, we do it with humor, and a lot of smiles. It's a very comfortable setting. So in the series, in that, especially for the series A, you get items 1 through 8, okay? That is an amazing experience. It's video, it's audio, and it will help you feel stronger in your light. It will guide you into self-reflection on part of your energy systems and ideas that may not be serving you and the light that you are as well as they could be. So we offer you updates and upgrades and another way to look at things, okay? And it's seamless. It'll feel like a cup of tea with me, right? So I love that. I mean, we're getting better and making it easier. It's so good. So offer B, it does include a private session, and it also includes a special transmission for Mary Magdalene. And I love, so A is great. It really, really is. But some people don't want to spend the extra time, right? So B, has one extra item and the private session, and not everybody is interested in the private session. I don't know who they are. Everybody seems happy with the private session. So I love what we have available for all of you guys. I love that there's choices, and I love what's in A. I really, really do. I was just listening to the videos again today, just like, okay, how do I feel about, did we get it all? And I was like, oh, that's even better than I remembered. That's even better than I thought it was. And I got the zings, I got the chills, and there's a lot of aha moments too. Item number 4, which is in both packages, is a redefinition and a recharacterization of Lemuria. And it blew me away. I was like, oh, that's huge. It's absolutely huge.
Oh my God.
Energetically, I feel just liberated by this. I feel like it's a correcting of the story, John. I really do. Okay, so another layer on this related to the special offer, and this comes through in the series, in both A and B. Coming into the Aquarian age, we had some incorrect, and I'm just going to use that word, incorrect expectations about what the Aquarian age was, what it would look like, and what it was for. In this series, we correct that expectation, okay? So that your light is even more free and expanded and full and available to you and to this reality, right? Because if it's available to you, it's available to this reality, and that is many reasons why we came here to begin with. So that it sets free, because the template should be easier for your light to flow, for you to feel it, for you to know that you are a bringer of light. Yes, we're going to have days where we feel, where we don't feel like we're a bringer of light. We feel insecure, we have self-doubt. That's fine. We even cover that in the series. How to address self-doubt and insecurity. It's so, I'm so grateful for what came through, because I know that it came through not just from my team, but from everyone's team. So I'm extremely excited. I feel like everyone, whether you are new to my work or whether those that have been hanging out with me for years because we love to dial each other's light up, are going to just feel like, oh my God, it's the perfect like aperitif, or no, the perfect after wine dinner, after dinner wine, after like 2020 was like, I don't know what kind of meal that was, but hand me the perfect drink to seal that deal. So that we can move forward and really, really transition into a pure, more authentic, higher integrity form of your light than you've ever had before in your life. And it's right there, you guys. But it's our own templates that get in the way.
But for many of us, we did this test run. We drove and we did the test run. It's like, okay, the car did not brake when we were at that high speed.
Yes, exactly.
It can do more. Hold on a second.
I love that.
Yeah. I love the analogy that you used at the beginning of it. So I had to, sorry to interrupt. Just please continue.
I love it. I love it. That was so perfect. I felt that in the zone right there when you said that. I was like, that's perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this, I'm excited about. I love private session work. I mean, John, you know that. I love the private session support, the frequency range that we access and offer you in the private session as your team and my team, and it sets the energy straight back up again. It's just a beautiful. It's clearing. It's activating. It's incredibly reassuring. It really, it's so loving. And so there is zero reason to be nervous. If there are things that your team does want me to point out, I promise to always say, no, this part may be harder to hear, right? I will not hold back, because it's all done with love and helping you be clear about the light that you are and helping you more fully enjoy your life.
It's so good. I appreciate the directness. I ask for that. It's like, just tell me what I can see.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Liberate me.
Yep. So do you want me, is it okay if I go through the items? Is that all right? Or is that, do we need that? I mean, they're listed right there, but sometimes, when somebody says them, we can feel it differently. There's a video and an audio for every single one though. Okay. So the first item in both packages is reactivating the soul signature structure. That is critical for really all of us, because there's always upgrades available. This reactivation it's perfect to start right off with it. And it's easy breezy, perfect. Item 2 is expanded frequency range for better managing the wide swings of energy now taking place on the planet. And this is the hard part for some people, and expected to continue. Okay. We're very realistic and still bringers of light. Item 3 is upgraded sense of inner sanctuary and personal well-being for a true shelter from the storm within one's self. Okay. Item 4, a clearer picture of the energy ranges now in place on Earth for a sense of increased preparedness of any scenario that may arise. It doesn't feel good to be caught off guard, especially when there'd been a lot of incorrect expectations about where we were headed. And then again, all of a sudden the music changes and you're doing the polka. It's crazy. Okay, so we're going to help you feel more prepared in this reality, and a clearer definition of what this reality is comes along with that. All right. Item number 5, a more accurate sense of self for improved stability in role, purpose, and sense of inherent value. Item 6, wisdom about the distracting forces that are designed to cause confusion and disconnection from one's own energy field. That one. I actually listened to that one twice today, John. It's so good. Just fantastic wisdom and information in these and support. Item 7, sealing in the Christ consciousness upgrade templates. Yum, yum, yum. Item 8, template care and support and setting expectations. And then for those that do B, you'll have item 9, which is the Mary Magdalene healing and clearing, as well as the private session with me.
This is fantastic, Jill. I'm loving this.
Thank you. I do, when I do these, it's like me saying to all of our teams, okay, what can best help us? And they are never lacking. They're always like, oh, we've got a great idea for you. So it's this one in particular, I think is especially given kind of what we've all been through. I love how they made it just really digestible, just beautiful, welcoming energy, language, and yet these zingers that are just complete resets. It's incredibly clarifying and fully liberating.
I love this. I did a free part series, a free 3-part series on Facebook at the beginning of the year. And I spoke about what they didn't tell you about ascension. And about what we're heading on, what was expanding. And it's like, we may grow energetically, but that doesn't mean that the world changes necessarily. And you can go through different things, but as you assimilate, you adapt and you thrive in the environment. It's not the environment is going to switch and then all of a sudden we're going to be up there in this Shangri-La. And not that is impossible, but it's about us going through it, not expecting something to lead us through it. And so it's what you're sharing here in the different ways. Again, it's acclimating us to the truth of, again, the integrity within ourselves, to be in the environment as the integrity that we are, love, if that's what we're choosing, and the different versions of it, and how to prosper in it from a very individualistic standpoint. When we can do it from that place, then we can share from our overfilled cups, if you will. We can share from those enlightened perspectives, having embodied instead of the intellectualized what was available, but we have to go through our individuated experience.
Beautifully said.
So that's what the conversation of ascension for me has been about.
Yeah.
And how we get there. And so the disillusionment is the disillusionment of the myth that was being told at the time that served us to encourage us to step into what's available now. Yeah. And how that showed up. And so while well-intended, we adjust and we throw the book out. I love Ernest Hemingway. He talks about writing books. It's like the second, when you finish writing your first book and you close it up and you dusted it off, throw it away, it's garbage, and now you're ready to start your book.
I love that. I feel that way a lot of times with my work. I'm like, oh, wait, no, that was 2 courses ago. I'm already on to the next one. And it doesn't mean I don't like what we've done. It means I'm always so excited about what else we're creating.
Right. We're evolving and we're calibrating or we're aligning, and a deeper truth comes in. And there's an intimacy that happens by having gone into the first flow, and then we have access to another deeper layer that is more in alignment with that source energy that we're so connected to.
I hear the birds at your place, John.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're all the time. You should hear the roosters at 2:00 in the morning. That's
no, I'll pass on that. Thank you.
Hey, y'all, take advantage of the special offer. It truly is special. And Jill, can we have 11 sessions? Because I took one.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you're talking about the first 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first 10, it actually isn't sessions. I'm sorry, John. It's the first 10 purchasers. I totally forget. Marketing is not my thing. The first 10 purchasers of, I think it's package B. I can't remember. April will correct me. Get a 1-month free trial of our subscription membership where we do premium content. And again, talking about pit crew, it is, our teams are amazing pit crews. So what comes through is
amazing.
Yeah, it
Oh,
feels really good. So they'll get 1 month free of that, and every month we have a Q&A, and anyway, so that freebie, that bonus gift for the first 10 is exciting. And for those that are already members, we'll just credit you for an upcoming month.
excellent. All right, fantastic. So all that's included. Y'all take advantage of the special offer. And enjoy this time and be excited about what's to come.
Are we ready for Mary?
I think I'm always ready.
I know, me too. Yes. Yeah. Oh, she's so excited. She's already putting words in my ear, and I'm like, hang on, we're not started yet. Okay. Yeah, just relax your body, and you may want to put a smile on your face if you don't have one already. I want to start off by acknowledging that this has been a really, really hard year for a lot of beings, and including some of you. And the last thing that we want to do is make anyone feel like you did it wrong or you did it bad. That is not what this is about. Please feel our love for you. And really, what if you couldn't get it wrong? What if you were still your light even when you felt like an utter failure? What if the entire time we were looking at you saying, they're doing okay, it's a tough day today, but she's got this, he's got this. That we were always cheering you on, and that we were inspired by you. That's a much more accurate depiction of how we're looking at you, even for those of you that feel like maybe you let yourself down or let your team down. You didn't let anyone down. There were tacks all over that track. Okay? How could you not get a flat tire? You've got this. You've got this. There is a way for you to let yourself be the love that you are, and it's not about not paying mind, but not over-analyzing for sure, and not being so analytical of the outer world about what others are doing. And I, as Mary Magdalene, alongside Yeshua and even our fellow apostles, we definitely did that. We had a very nice system of being the light that we are, supporting that in each other, being playful, and feeling in some ways disconnected from the rest of this world. And that was important for us because as the bringers of light that we felt that we were, the laughter and playfulness and ease and grace was a huge part about the surge of light that we offered the planet. Okay? I really encourage each of you to, again, through that curiosity and, well, what about this? And how do I feel my light here? How loved do I feel by source energy that has endless love for me, right? How do I feel it there? Do I forget that I'm that here? Be very experimental. We were very experimental. And for Yeshua and I, we were possibly too playful. For some of the other apostles, they were more serious. They kind of felt like professors sometimes in the college hallways and in the faculty room. And Jesus and I were just giggling. We were playful. And it bothered them sometimes, even as our inner circle. But we didn't let them being bothered bother us. We gave ourselves space to be the light that we loved to be. Individually, whole and complete, and amazing compliments to each other. I know about pain. When he left, when he wasn't by my side, there was definitely a part of me as Mary that felt like I wanted to put the whole car away. But it was only for a moment. And my inner light shone brighter because I let it, not because I forced it, not because I, followed any steps. I allowed it as the bringer of light that I knew that I was. Even when I wasn't feeling it, I allowed it. And in that case, it felt like a magic carpet ride through some really, really dark times where my safety was in danger and the family's lives were in danger. It gave us safe passage. That inner light, that luck that Jill was talking about earlier, was all along the way. Were there bad luck moments? Yes, of course there are. It's Earth. It's Earth, right? But we didn't let those get us down. We didn't spend time overanalyzing. But there were some that did. There were some bringers of light. They weren't the apostles and Jesus and I, but we could see there were other wisdom keepers and messengers that had a different, let's just say, a different flavor of light that was all about who's doing what to whom, quite gossipy, and it's salacious and tempting, and it can suck us in and draw us in, and we were really clear that was not conducive to the light that we knew that we were, and the radiating of light that we wanted to be in our lives and going forward, and even post dropping the body in the at the death experience, and then in the afterlife experience of transcending the space-time realm. That we were really, really clear. We were very professional in that way, and very judgmental. And some of those different types of, let's say, pit crews were sort of bothered that they thought that we were thinking we were elitist and that we were trying to be the cool kids, that we were above it, and it wasn't that at all. We were totally respectful of them doing it their way. We didn't feel the need to correct them. We didn't go over and tell them they were wrong. We let them be their version of light, knowing that we had a very different intention of the frequency range of light that we were designed to be and wanted to be and chose to be. I hope that further inspires all of you to be discerning, be choosy, be the professional bringer of light that you are, even when you don't feel like it, even if you've never felt like it. From another perspective, you can't get it wrong. From your team's perspective, you are on an impossible track. Don't take it personally. Be the natural flow of source energy that you are, and think about those characteristics. Are you an amazing listener? That is a very godly quality. Are you an amazing healer, alchemist, problem solver, insight creator? Are you an amazing messenger? Are you an amazing inspirer? Do you comfort others like nobody's business? They may, the stronger your gifts are in those areas, the closer you are to disregarding them. It happens all the time. We disregard our own greatest gifts because they're not effort-based. They feel too easy for us, so we disregard them. My pit crew, Jesus, the apostles, and others, including Mother Mary, we were there to help remind us when we needed a reminder of how amazing we were doing at a very thankless job a lot of the time, to be bringers of light, to be ambassadors and representations of source energy in human form. That is uncomfortable for many humans, given their templates, if they're operating from inauthentic templates, that no, you can't do that. That's blasphemous. That will look elitist. That will come across as arrogant. It's arrogant to be an endless vessel of love. I don't want to understand that logic. Own the light that you are. Take care of your giftedness. Know that it's there, even when part of your humanness is not certain or is sure it's not true. Be the gifts of source that come naturally to you, that never required a class, never needed a certification. It was natural. It was a natural vibe of you as a flow of love and source energy in your world. Because you designed yourself so well for this, nothing ever could really get in your way. Let it flow, along with the joy and the authenticity and the integrity. And going forward, any bumps in the road will feel expected, not a surprise, and not bump you off at all. Thank you so much for the incarnation that you've planned so beautifully, and the amazing container of light that you are in your humanness. You are so loved and so supported, and we hope that these upgraded templates help you feel that more clearly, more rationally, with normal language, and with grace and flow and ease. And so it is.
Wow, thank you.
John, did her clarity, actually the clarity of the entire team, again, since March, it just feels like it's just zip, it's just right there. Anyway. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, what I want to bring in is the awareness of the simplicity of what she is suggesting. And that can be a little tough to receive sometimes when we expect these ascended conversations to come in and give us this formula perhaps we didn't have before, right? Simplicity and the beauty and the love, the acceptance. Oh my God, so beautiful.
Even the language. I mean, I was just, when you said, I was thinking of the term when you said ascended master. I used to use that term. There's nothing wrong with that term. But energetically, it has a heaviness and sort of a, oh, that's heavy. That doesn't feel fun. That doesn't feel easy and grace-filled. Versus apostle. Apostle just has this lightness and brightness, especially if one can detach it from any sort of Christian heavy dogma that may not resonate. I know it doesn't resonate with me. There's a totally fresh way of looking at even the term apostle that is literally, they've let the light free, they've set the light of source free in their lives, free to flow, free to be.
Amazing. So beautiful. Jill, when someone has a session with you, and I know the answer to this, but in the session, it's possible that an apostle will come through, you'll channel through, and it's...
Your team comes through in whatever sort of way and manner and topics that, I mean, we share first. We share for the first 1/3 of your session. I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know your questions. I don't want to know what you want to work on. We get to that later. But it's so refreshing, and a completely different conversation happens when you get to hear what your team wants to tell you about, what your team wants to remind you of, what your team wants to offer and recommend and advise, respecting you as the leader, as the professional bringer of light that you are, just sort of getting the chance to advise and offer a completely different perspective sometimes, very different awareness. So in that, literally, Gabriel can come through, Mary Magdalene comes through often, Jesus comes through a lot, and then in some sessions, John Lennon comes through in individuals. So
and Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix came through in your session. That's right. The way that I look at it, in terms of the way that I allow my template and my soul signature and my Jill to interact with source energy, I'm looking for that frequency of source energy that is beyond the realm. It's beyond space-time, right? It's at the creator energy level, which is beyond space and beyond time. That can be anything. So I came up with this funny analogy the other day talking with a friend. I said, it's sort of like you wouldn't normally ask a chef. I mean, like, oh, what protein do you cook? It's like it's all available. It's a chef, right? So to me, anyone and anything can come through, including someone's, lost relative, a loved one that is no longer in the physical world and wants to say, hey, and I'm okay, and please don't worry about me, and thank you, and I'm sorry. I mean, so much can happen in a private session. I don't follow a formula. My only formula is, what does your team want to share with you today? And then after we share for that third, I record every single session I have from the very beginning. I was led right away. Record everything. They won't hear most of it. Needs to be recorded. And then when they listen to it, they'll say, that did not come through when I was sitting there. Did not come through when I was sitting there on the Zoom call with Jill. But yes, it was. It's right there. So there's always new insights every time you listen to it. And then after I share for a third alongside your team and my team, then it's okay, what did you want to talk about today? And that's the fun part, because some people look at their list and they're like, you answered my list and you didn't even know I had a list. And then some people say, you know what, my list doesn't seem as important as it did 15 minutes ago.
That's why I was smiling earlier after your first 2 minutes. I'm like, I don't have a question. Let me get in my mind and try to ask something to take up the rest of the 20 minutes. So let's hang out.
And with some individuals, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
With some individuals where they decide that their original list of questions doesn't seem to fit anymore, or if it was answered, which does happen all the time. What regularly happens is the team obviously has, things that they, do you want to talk about your kids, or do you want to talk about relationships, or do you want to talk about career, or do you want to talk about income? Do you want to talk about your health? I mean, so they have ideas for what they want to talk about, but they're still respecting that that's your time.
Yeah. Amazing. Again, it's an amazing experience with the sessions and the recordings also, and then these packed together. Fantastic. Y'all, April, will you type it into the chat box again to make it easy to find so everybody doesn't have to scroll through to find it? Thank you, April. So again, you can click in the chat box that gets a special offer, or go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Jill23. And of course, we'll run the replay for the rest of the weekend. It'll be up in a couple of hours, however long it takes for the video to render. So watch for that. You can always find the replays at beyondtheordinaryshow.com/replay. I want to ask you about your Egypt trip. We haven't spoken about that. What did you, for lack of a better word right now, or better phrase, what did you come back with from the Egypt trip? What got ignited over there, or what shifted in perspective perhaps, or got confirmed? I don't know.
I'm going to let Isis answer this. And I'm not trying to answer for Jill, but what we were able, and what she was willing to receive more clearly with this second trip, was just how timeless a group like this is, and just how integral they were, i.e. you folks, all of you, are in the timelines that you're in, whether that is a public role or a private role. There was a sense that that Jill had even more clearly with the January 2020 trip, of just how intentional everything was in terms of where what was done in what rooms, creating codes, really clear visuals of what was happening at the Temple of Ra, right, the Temple of the Sun, in Cairo, and a sense of luck, being incredibly divinely led, and allowing for that synchronicity and that divine timing and the luck, and, to use your term, Brother John, blessings, to be just a natural flow. There was an incredible amount of luck and blessings that was happening on that trip. One in particular, when they were at the Temple of Karnak, they had a second visit again, just like they did with you guys. You can't do Karnak in one trip. So we keep tricking you guys, i.e. through luck and coordination, to get you back into Karnak. There was a guide that they had this time, Gabby, and she has been a guide for over 20 years. And it was late at night. The rest of the place was closing down. They had special permits to be in there after the regular hours. And the guardians, if you will, of the local site said, do you guys want to see this other area back here? And it was, so they're unlocking the door. The general public is not allowed in there. And Gabby, the guide, is reading, right, the glyphs. Jill and the others are having an amazing ultra sensory awareness system. And Jill walks over to Gabby and says, Gabby asked her a question, and Gabby said, oh no, I've never been in here before. I've only seen these in books.
Wow.
So the Egypt professional guide was in places in these temples that she had never been in before. And it felt like natural for the rest of the group. It was like, oh yeah, that's right. We got the special permits. So It was very rare, very lucky, very fortunate. And some of the even the guardians had said they never let anyone in there.
Amazing.
And there was some of that on the trip that you were on, of course, John, as well. But when a group's frequency range is at that, it's not about level, it's not about higher, it's wider, and it's allowing for the source energy. We want to bless those individuals with all of the energies that were part of what they helped create in these places. Of course they'd be let back in. Amazing creation and divine encodement, sacred ceremony, sacred alchemy was created, experimented, explored, tested, piloted in some of these areas. They should have access. They were part of what was made it possible. Thank you, Isis.
Amazing.
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 I mean, I don't understand how somebody can say they don't feel lucky, right? It's just like, yeah.
Jill, this has been so wonderful. Again, a lot of the reframes and recalibrations and the invitations into that and the simplifications as well. There's just so much. Y'all come back and listen to the replay. It's just, there's so much here. And simplistically and eloquently explained, Jill. So thank you so much. And the way that you show up and translate and commitment to that integrity within yourself. And it just, it makes it easy to receive it on this end.
Thank you, brother. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. And all of y'all on the call, I love y'all. So, someone asked a question. The package price, there's a 2-payment option on both packages. Package A is $127. Package B with the private session and the access to Jill's group and to the Mary Magdalene healing and clearing is $277 with a 2-payment option as well. And click on the special offer link. You'll see all the pricing, all the information's on that special offer page.
Click it and feel it, you guys. Literally, just feel it.
Yeah.
And then hopefully say yes, because I want to work with you.
Awesome. So good. Y'all, thank you so much. It's been an honor hosting this season with you. We're going to replays next week. I will see y'all in 2021. And I might have a special call here or there, just kind of one off, just because I want to connect with you guys. But my God, my heart, my being is with y'all. We're together. And I look forward to seeing you and being with you on the other side, at least in this way, in 2021. I love y'all. Blessings. Namaste.